What is up, you guys? It is your boy, Phoenix Brenton here, and welcome to today's video. In today's video, we are going to be talking about the Houston Texans. Now, before we get into today's video, like and subscribe. We're on the road again to 700 subscribers, and also, we are very close to the end of the series with us having, like, what, 9 more teams left? Let's see here. 1, 2, 3... we got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We actually may have 8 teams left. I'm not sure. I'll count one more time. So we got 4 in the AFC. Then you got 1, 2, 3, 4 in the NFC. Really? I have 8 teams left? That's interesting. But before we get to today's video, like obviously I already said all that. I do have a playlist of every team in the NFL. But anyways, with that all out of the way, let's just get into the video. And the Houston Texans. Boy, this is an interesting team to talk about, because this is a team that is by far one of the most, I feel like, teams that are like, hey, if this player could break out, could this team make it to a Super Bowl? You know? It's kind of an interesting thing, to, in my opinion, to say. And I know that sounds a little weird, like, why am I bringing up stuff like that? But I just think that's my personal opinion. Let me, my audio settings, I'm sorry, it's a little distracting. Anyway, the Houston Texans, right? Their offseason wasn't the craziest. Like, they did went and re-sign a lot of players, as I think they should. Like, they had a good roster last year, but they did lose some decent players. They traded away Tyus Howard. Honestly, smart move, because he was only off the line. Christian Kirk wasn't really big, but I do think one loss that, I mean, looking at this roster, isn't really good for them is Tim Settle. And I know that's not a big name, but trust me, when you look at the interior, it might be as bigger of a loss than you think it might be. While they kind of gained a lot more in the offseason. For example, signing Braden Smith, I think, is a great start to fixing up your offensive line. Trading for David Montgomery, I think that was also a really good move for them as well, because if there was one thing they definitely lacked last year, it was a running back. Signing Evan Brown wasn't bad either. Also, signing Reed Blankenship was good. So they did a lot of decent moves. Also signed Marie Malatu. They did went and make some good moves. They did not have the most craziest draft in the world. Like, I did not like the Keelan Ruckridge pick, but I did really like is the Caden McDonald pick out of Ohio State. Very, very good move. It fixes some need, which was the interior defensive line. But, I mean, they just kind of had a alright draft class. It wasn't insane, but it wasn't horrible. Like, I really do think, though, that Caden McDonald pick really did kind of carry that draft class, in my personal opinion. And, again, I feel like looking at this roster, it all kind of just comes down to C.J. Stroud. Because, I mean, the interior still isn't great. Let me be perfectly clear. The interior is still not great. But the tackles, I kind of like. You have Anto Easley, who you had last year. He was drafted last year. This is his second year. So you should probably take a step up from last year. You have Braden Smith, who is an upgraded right tackle. Caleb Rutledge, Wyatt Teller, Ed Ingram. Like, they have an actually decent offensive line with good receivers that has the likes of Nico Collins, Jalen Wiggins, Jalen Nolan, Xavier Hutchinson, Tank Bell, who might be, I think he is heading to be back this year. Like, they got, they have an actually good offense. Also, then they also got David Montgomery. They still have Woody Marks, who had a decent year last year. Like, their offense is pretty solid. It's just, can CJ Stroud, one, stay healthy, and two, can he actually play like his rookie version of himself? Because this defense is stacked. I mean, the interior is a little bit of concern. I do think Caden McDonald should start because this interior is trash. Outside of Sheldon Rankins, I think he's solid. The linebacker position's fine. Like Henry Tutu, I think is nice. Aziz Al Shalier, I think is solid as well. They do have a pretty nice secondary with Reed Blankenship, Derek Stingley, Caden Bullock, Carmen Lassiter, and Jalen Petrie. A very solid secondary. I mean, like, again, you kind of look at this roster. There's not a lot of things like you're like, okay, you could probably improve there. Oh, you could probably improve there. Like, yeah, could you improve your interior? Probably. Could you improve your interior also on the defensive line? Probably. Linebacker? Sure. But I think if CJ Stroud plays well enough, I don't think those names are really going to matter that much. And I'm just going to keep saying this. If CJ Stroud can have an incredible year, as I think he can, this team could potentially be in the Super Bowl bound, in my opinion. Because, in my opinion, if this team is at their ceiling, they are probably the team to beat in the AFC. Let me be perfectly clear when I say this. The team to beat in the AFC. And also, if you look at your division, none of those teams are guaranteed to make a playoff spot. Like, Tennessee, they're not making it into the playoffs. Colts, they could if Daniel Jones can go back to where he was last year. And Jacksonville, they just have one of the worst off seasons. And I'm a little skeptical if they're going to make it to the playoffs this year. So you have a pretty easy runaway with the division, which not only helps you just winning your division, but it also helps you potentially get the 1 seed. As looking at your schedule, not including your division games, you start off with the Bills and Bengals, but they're at home. Then you're once again at home against Dallas. After your international game, you get a game at home against New York. You get a bye week. You do go on the road against LA and Cleveland. But, I mean, like, again, looking at their schedule, like, they do have some scary teams, like Baltimore, Green Bay on the road, Buffalo, and Cincinnati. But it's not that difficult of a schedule by any stretch of the imagination. Like, this just kind of feels like a little bit of an easy schedule, to be honest with you. That's just me. So, let's start off with the floor of this team. I think they are going to lose week 1 against Buffalo, but I do think you will get the win against Cincy. I think you will also, by the way, in the division, you just split the series with the division. That's how I think it's going to go, but that's my personal opinion. You can say all you want, like, oh, they would sweep the Titans even if they're not. They're the worst version of this team. I know, but Tennessee is a little bit of a watcher team, I feel like. I do think they will win at home against Dallas as well. I do think, though, because you are coming back from an international game, you will lose to Newark at home. I know that's a little bit of a hot take, but this is, again, their worst case scenario, not their best case scenario. Obviously, I do think you will lose to the Chargers on the road. You will beat Cleveland at home. You will lose to the Ravens at home. You will lose to the Steelers on the road, but you will get the Texans or the Commanders at home. You will lose to the Eagles and the Packers on the road. So that puts their floor at 7-10, which is a pretty decent floor, may I add. Again, and this is kind of where it's like everything goes wrong. And even if you get rid of the Giants game, which is a little bit of a stretch in my opinion, and even the Titans game, their floor is kind of around more of a 9-8 range, which is not horrible. That's a pretty good darn floor, because that basically nearly guarantees you a playoff spot. And now let's look at their ceiling. I do think they could beat Buffalo at home. They will sweep the entire division. Yes, that is what I believe will happen. So literally they start off what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 game winning streak. Then they have a bye week. And I think they will beat the Chargers on the road, which that means they basically win every game. I do think they will beat the Ravens at home. I do think they will lose to the Steelers on the road. I just kind of have a feeling that's going to happen. And then they're going to beat Jacksonville. They will lose their 2 final games on the road, which then will lead you to a win at home, putting their record at a 14-3. That is some serious stuff. Actually, you know what? I actually do think I am actually going to change my mind. I do think they will beat the Steelers on the road, but I think they will lose to the Chargers on the road. Even with a bye week, I just think it's a little skeptic. So it's still 14-3 is what I'm saying. But I do think this team, this team is nothing to scoff at heading into this year. And I hate when people say, "Oh, it's not. Oh, this team is just, it's just out there." No, this team is a serious team that I'm tired of people not talking about. This team, if their offense can be good, could be a Super Bowl contending team. It's literally the same case with Dallas and Cincinnati, but for the opposite reason. If their defense could be good, they're Super Bowl contenders. That's where I'm getting at. Because, spoiler alert, you don't need an insane offense or defense. Well, actually, you kind of do. If you just have a great offense and a great defense, I think you can win a Super Bowl. You don't have to have both sides of the ball be insane. If one side of the ball, for in this instance, their defense is insane, their offense just has to be good enough to win. And that was exactly what Seattle did last year. Seattle had one of the best defenses in the league. I don't think it was quite the greatest. It was definitely a top 5 unit. But their offense did good enough to win games. Sometimes the defense slacks. The offense still did very well. And that's what I think this team needs to do heading into this season. But anyways, guys, I really do hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. And I'll see you on the next one.